Hello students, this screencast looks at the Common Assessment Task Investigation Planner. The investigation planner is due on the 7th of November, and firstly, the investigation planner, as the name suggests, it's just the planning part of this. The next part is the experiment. So with the investigation planner, you need to answer the questions posed, and then the next step is come up with a list of materials, the method and stuff that's going to be required for the investigation. Okay, this needs to be handed in to me on the 7th of November. We started this activity about 2 weeks ago. The question we were investigating is, how does the amount of salt in water affect the boiling point of water? Right, we need to look at the hypothesis and decide what you think is going to happen in the experiment. The other thing we need to look at is all the variables that are involved in this experiment or in this investigation. Okay, the first variable we consider is the independent variable. Remember, the independent variable is the variable or the thing that you're changing. Okay, in the example we're given, like the amount of salt in water, so obviously you're varying or you are changing the amount of salt in water, so that should be one of the independent variables. Okay, what do you think? The dependent variable is the variable that we are measuring. Okay, in this case we're trying to see the effect of the temperature of the water after adding the salt. So maybe your temperature or boiling point is the dependent variable. I want you to think about that. Remember, you need to keep your test fair. Whenever you do an experiment, if you're working out, trying to figure out your dependent variable, the test has to be fair. So what do we mean by a fair test? Okay, so what would you keep constant in this investigation? Right, we've covered the dependent and independent variables in class. We've done some exercises. You remember the Simpsons worksheet? Well, if you don't know how it works, you can have a look at Moodle. The answers to the Simpsons worksheet is on Moodle under Science. Next, when carrying out investigation, it's very important to have a control. So what do you think the control will be in this experiment? And in general, what do you think the purpose of a control is? Okay, now follow the part in green ink, the controlled experiment in a sugar salt setup. What should it be? So you can have a look at this and try and figure that out. Yep, so if I am changing the amount of sugar or salt in a solution, so obviously the control experiment will be also referred to as the blank, and the blank would just simply be a solution without any sugar or salt, depends whatever my independent variable is. Okay, the planning part will form the first part of the common assessment task. Thereafter we continue with the experiment. So as part of the planning, how you go about setting up your experiment is very important, and it would be included in the investigation planner. Right, so as you see here, what's required is you have to list your materials, write down a clear method, and the results needs to be put in a table form. So once the investigation planner is given to me, during the experiment I will give you back your investigation planner to put up a table of results, and then from there you hand in the investigation planner for me for assessment purposes. Once the initial investigation planner is done, students will continue with the experiment, complete the experiment, and then write a detailed report on the experiment, which forms the next part of the assessment. So both parts, the investigation planner is 25 marks, the actual practical and the report is 25 marks. So this common assessment task has a total of 50 marks. Okay, thank you and good luck.